Hey, welcome everybody to day 38 of the Daily Stoic. All right, so let's go ahead and get started for today. This is a short quote today, but it has a huge meaning. So let's go ahead and read it. Here it is. It says, "Many are harmed by fear itself, and many may have come to their fate while dreading fate." Seneca. So, as I've thought about this quote over the last day or so, what it really means to me is that a lot of times we manifest things in our own life that we may not really want to be there. Some examples would be, some people, one of the quotes that he gives in here that Ryan Holiday uses in the book is that, some people who believe that things are being mismanaged. So since they believe things are being mismanaged, then they overcompensate by micromanaging the people or the projects around them to make sure that they're not mismanaged. So it's things like that that I think this quote is talking about, where we almost become like our own worst enemy. So we're like, because we're paranoid that someone may get over on us, then we're hypercritical of people and we're always looking, at people and trying to pick out their flaws. Or if we're afraid of being betrayed by people, we'll turn around and betray people before they can betray us, just so that we make sure that we don't get betrayed. Does that make sense? I know you know what I'm talking about, and that's what I think this quote is talking about, is the fact that when we sit and stew and ponder and worry and are not in control of our emotions, that these things have a way of like manifesting themselves in our lives. Like when we sit and we worry about something that's going to happen, and we sit and we worry and we worry and we worry and worry, and all of a sudden it happens, and we're like, "Oh, I knew it was going to happen." It's kind of like, yeah, because you've only been obsessing about it for like the last 2 weeks, and why wouldn't it happen? So I think that this quote is what that is speaking about. And I think that it's really, really important in our lives to try to get away from that in our life. I mean, I understand that there are certain things that we're naturally as people just going to kind of worry about. But I think that we have to strive hard to be in control of our emotions, to be in control of our thoughts, and to, not always think the worst or the most negative of things or people in our lives. Now, I'm not saying that we should be taken advantage of. I'm not saying that we should let people walk all over us. That's not what I'm saying. But, just because you're like, the example we used earlier was just because you're worried about mismanagement of something, don't start micromanaging everything in your life or everything that you have, somewhat control over, just because you think there's going to be mismanagement in life. Because you know what? If you start micromanaging everything in your life, you're right. There is going to be mismanagement in your life, in your projects, in your work, all of it, in your relationships, all of it. It's all connected together. And I think a lot of times people miss that. So if you're out there right now, sitting there thinking about, oh man, I have this problem, I'm worried about mismanagement, or I'm worried about so-and-so getting over on me, or I'm worried about, really anything that you're just sitting out there worried about. Number one, we know that worrying is completely and utterly useless. You get nothing out of worrying. So you have to work on trying to stop that. Number two, right? If you keep worrying about it, if you keep dwelling on it, if you keep thinking about it nonstop, day and night, it's going to manifest itself in your life. And is that really what you want? I don't think that's what any of us want. And I think through this simple quote right here, we're getting an answer or a key to unlocking how to deal with that. So that's what I took from this quote. I'd love to hear what you guys take from this quote. So please read it, ponder it, think about it, and leave your thoughts and comments below this video. And I'd love to have a conversation with you about it. All right? So until tomorrow, I hope you guys have a great day.